One player staying at Celtic about transfers here, a totally different scenario. Auston Trusty, probably the most polarising player within himself to play for Celtic in recent memory. Johan Mjällby-esque European performances, elite level player, and some Atalanta away, Bayern Munich at home, the 2-1 defeat, probably the best player in the park. He was excellent that night, but he has struggled mightily dealing with the more physical style of player you come up against in Scotland. Industrial, we'll call them, strikers, but that's part of Scottish football. You have to be able to do both. But do you think he's a player who, if teams across Europe are looking at his stats, he's brilliant in Champions, would you cash in on him to open up the potential to find a starter? If he's got to be in that fringe role, is it too risky? Is he too good a player? You make your move and find a real partner for Carter Vickers, because fans don't believe Liam Scales is that guy. How would you play it?
For me, he reminds me very much of Kelvin Wilson, who I actually just interviewed earlier this week, and I actually asked him about Auston Trusty as well. Kelvin Wilson took a season to find his feet. He was in and out. He had a couple of injuries. The second season, he really, he felt really settled and established himself. It took one performance for Kelvin Wilson to say, this is the turning point, this is when I'm going to become a Celtic player, and he became a mainstay in that Champions League run. I think with Auston Trusty, if there's no offers that come in, I think he's worth a second season. You can't write off a £6 million signing. He's a USA international. I think he gets on well with Cameron Carter Vickers. I think he's proven at Champions League level, at elite level,
that's the thing. The performances are so standout. Like he's been,
but like you say, the rough nature of Scottish football. It's I remember that game at Dundee. Can you remember Brendan Rodgers? I think it was a few lip reading experts.
Weak as powder.
Yeah, that's one way to say it. So he has got a lot to prove in his second season. I think he'll know that as well. So I think unless Celtic can recoup their money this season, I would stick with them. I do think Celtic will bring in defensive reinforcements for a left-sided player. Cameron Carter Vickers is obviously number one at centre-back, but they really need a solid partner.
When you factor in the Roche, Lager Bielke, both probably likely to leave, it just feels it has to be, because Trusty, I think we've argued the case pretty well, hopefully, there, in the terms that he's got a load of ability to perform at a big level. There is obviously the issue with you can't trust him domestically, but it feels it has to be for a starter level. Like going that fee again, can't be. Listen, you can have just talking about finding bargains at lower fees, but they really need to find that partner, don't they, for Carter Vickers? And maybe that will happen over the summer.